what'll happen is another member of the party has that skill, but took it because they have that high proficiency. The druid may have taken insight because they have a high wisdom and they wanted to be that kind of person. So when you take it with skill and you only have a +1 wisdom, they have a +3, they're going to be the default user of the insight checks.
Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the feat skilled.
I would.
You have no skills.
I was about to say, like, my resume's trash. What am I supposed to do at this point in time? I don't. My Python skills are not what they used to be, at least from university. So now I'm just like getting right sometimes.
Yeah, we both write, and that's not very rude. Here, there we
there
go.
you go.
Pantomime.
Skill. Perfect. This feat is relatively, not even relatively. It is unbelievably simple. It is 12 words, 13 words. You gain proficiency in any combination of 3 skills or tools of your choice. That's it. That's all it does.
Now, the question is, how much do you need that?
You don't.
All right.
Generally speaking.
All right, so who gets more skills than others?
Okay.
Yeah.
We go through all the classes. Bards, rogues, rangers, I believe, are the 3 that get bonus skills. Normally, you start with 2 from your class, 2 from your background. So you're starting with 4. Bards get a bonus 1. I believe, yeah, rogues get a bonus 2 and rangers get a bonus 1. I believe are all the starting proficiencies bonuses. Now there might be 1 or 2 others that I'm forgetting, maybe clerics. I know some classes give bonus skills. But like out the gate, the actual classes that get bonus skills, I believe that is all. Artificers get bonus tools. They start with the tool proficiencies, I believe, as well. They might get a bonus skill, something to that effect. But most characters are starting with 2 skills.
Okay.
Yeah, artificers get 2 skills.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out, like, how much more of an advantage is proficiency with 3 more skills going to give you? I mean, you said start with 2 skills, but then your backgrounds too, as well. So
yes, you're starting with functionally 4 skills, at least at minimum on every single character. You play a lot of rogue.
How many good skills?
So the total, there are 18 skills in the game total.
Yeah.
You are one of 3 to 5 players, and you get at least 4.
Right.
If
but I'm thinking
else,
backgrounds generally give you 1 decent skill and 1 lame one.
Yeah, but when if you use the custom building your own custom background guide that we've put up on this channel for using the rules as written to make whatever background you want, you can pick 2 good skills, and you probably should pick 2 good skills.
Go watch that video.
It's a good video. It's longer than I think it needs to be, but it gets the point across. This you get.
Don't say
most of the. There's like only 1 category because I consider bad, and they're not awful. They're not unusable. They're just more fringe, and those are the knowledge skills. So Arcana, History, Nature, and Religion. Those ones come up less frequently than the rest tend to. And there are some skills that are genuinely excellent that most characters will want on their sheet. And those are Perception, Stealth, Athletics to some degree. Those are the skills that I rate the highest. And then a Charisma skill, I wouldn't usually rate more than 1 Charisma skill necessary between like Deception and Persuasion and Intimidation. Those 3 all kind of serve the same purpose. Performance can, in some instances, do the similar thing. All this is to say, you don't really need the 4 skills that we talked about before: Arcana, History, or Nature and Religion. And there's 3 to 4 members of your party, and each of them gets 4 skills. The odds of you having, with just those party members, every relevant skill that your party's going to need in the game covered, very high. It's very, very high. You're only be missing a skill or 2 from amongst that list that you would care to want. So do you need 3 more? No,
probably
don't.
And also, I mean, like as a single character, you've got your stats. You've got some high ability scores, some low ability scores. I generally favor pumping up my high ability, my high skills that correspond. No, the skills that correspond to my higher ability scores.
It makes the most sense. What you'll see will happen at a lot of tables is The rogue will do the stealth checks when there's just one happening. The rogue will do the sleight of hand checks when there's just one happening. The barbarian makes the athletics checks. The paladin makes the athletics checks. The bard makes the performance and persuasion checks. The classes that are sort of aimed at the
Yeah.
fantasy do the fantasy thing, right? Your wizards are making the investigation checks. The rangers are doing the perception checks, the survival checks, that kind of stuff, right? Everyone having those niches means if you are a rogue and you pick up, well, I want my person to be an arsonist, or not arsonist, an arcanist. I want them to have a little bit of magical capabilities at their disposal, but I also want to have, maybe they'll pick up a handy like insight or something. What'll happen is another member of the party has that skill, but took it because they have that high proficiency. The druid may have taken insight because they have a high wisdom and they wanted to be that kind of person. So when you take it with skill and you only have a +1 wisdom, they have a +3, they're going to be the default user of the insight checks whenever you go to check out if someone's being legitimate or not. Whenever you go and take a charisma skill on your fighter with a +1 charisma, you're going to find out a lot of the time when the party is working together, when the party is adventuring together, well, you're not the one leading a lot of the conversation. The bard is, the warlock is, the sorcerer is. So you're not going to get to use that bonus skill as effectively as you otherwise would. And you become a thing where it's when you're by yourself, maybe you can use this skill.
Oh,
It
what about
leads
like
to ghoulish overkill, I think.
what about like generically good skills? Perception. You're playing a barbarian. You just dumped wisdom. You got an 8 wisdom, but 4 times a session the DM says, "Everybody make a perception check." Do you want
I mean,
proficiency in that?
truthfully, still no. Like, proficiency is not digging you out of that hole entirely, right? I
No.
think, especially in the case of perception, the party will bail you out of that hole. The party being perceptive is what's going to provide you with the better protection, right?
Mhm.
And you would be better served taking feats that make you better at your niche to cover what else the party needs, right? If your
Right.
niche as a barbarian is to be a giant chunk of hit points, a thick meatball that deals some damage and takes some damage, you might want feats that keep you alive, that help you deal more damage, that give you utility the party might be missing in the form of feat or spells. Like maybe you consider taking a Misty Step kind of thing because you want to be able to participate more than just doing what you're regularly doing. Taking a skill that reduces weakness, I don't think is as relevant as taking feats that reduce weakness. I don't think is as relevant as taking feats that enhance strengths or
Yeah,
provide new tools. Right?
I completely agree with that. I just thought I'd throw it out there.
Yeah, it's fair. We haven't covered the last element of this, which is tools. And I figure this is relevant. So the tools that exist in this game are within the tools section of the player's handbook. There's artisan tools, and then there's a couple of kits and sets. So all the artisan's tools, I'm not going to list them off, but you'd also take disguise kits, forgery kits, herbalism kits. I think and poisoners kits and thieves tools. Okay, 5 somewhat novel toolkits. And then you also can get navigator's tools, musical instruments, or gaming sets. Those are also all available to you with skill if you'd like.
Yeah,
Do you place any merit in doing that?
probably not, but I might if I gave it a bunch of thought. I don't
Mhm.
know. Like, maybe thieves' tools could work for anyone, like for certain situations, if maybe.
I
It,
think
it- it'd probably be a case of, all right, I want the skilled feat for two skills that I really want my character to have. I don't care so much about the third one. Maybe I'll pick up a toolkit.
maybe you found that you're doing a lot of stealthing and you would like to, take that skill officially because you've been doing it so much. I
Mm.
could see that maybe popping up. I still have a really hard time taking that over Shadow Touch, that gives you
Oh
invisibility.
yeah.
But like, yeah, I could see that. I wanted to point out that Tasha's or Xanathar's Guide to Everything, I think. It was that or Tasha's, which one? It was
I
Xanathar's
don't
Guide
know.
to Everything. Expanded tools so that they had like these are abilities that these toolkits have that are somewhat interesting. I would recommend checking those out if you would like tool expansions. The thing is, again, if you go check our building a background video, you get to pick any two that you want. And if you're going to pick any two that you want whenever you're building a background, because I rate these a lot higher than languages, I would take these over languages every single time. I doubt you're going to need a third or fourth or fifth one. And if it's just like for a flavor thing, taking potter's supplies, that's not going to come up that often. Becoming a jeweler, like, I don't know if that's worth a third of a feat even. So like I have a hard time seeing that coming to fruition. I think like you kind of highlighted, thieves tools are an outlier. I think thieves tools are like notably substantially, they come up more often in play as far as like picking locks and bringing and entering discreetly and stuff like that. And there are some fringe rules for poisoners kits that can come up. Forgery kits are kind of the same deal, same with the disguise kits. One that is particularly notable, I think, is the herbalism kit, because it lets you make potions of healing as well as add proficiency bonus to checks to find ingredients for those kinds of things. So if you wanted to do a big gathering kind of, like, maybe you're a survivalist kind of game and everyone's cobbling together a society in the woods, I could see there being some incentive to take a herbalism kit here. I would just much rather get it more affordably in my background. I don't want to have to ever spend a feat on this, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's a neat idea. Yeah, 3 more skills feels really good, but I mean, I feel like most characters get enough skills, and like even if they would like another 1 or 2 or 3, it's, I mean, there's so many really good feats that they could be choosing instead of this. Feats are a precious limited resource.
This is true. We also can quickly mention there's the new backgrounds from the expanded books give you feats. I think this is actually pretty close to those in terms of, like, it's slightly worse in utility on average, but I can envision some characters out the gate taking this as their starting feat, as like a background feat. And you take just
I would love
basically
this as a starting feat. Yeah.
a big expanded resource pool where you're not taking this at 4th level, but you're taking this instead of like tough or something.
Mhm.
Now, I do think it's worse than like Spire of Slomnia than Magify Sorcery. I don't think the expansion you're getting is better than that, but it is closer to that I
Yeah.
wouldn't be upset to do that. If I'm building if I have a specific vision for a character in mind, if I'm doing like a dwarf jeweler and I really want all these artisans tools, I really want a bunch of different skills, I want to be like a mercantile effective jewel smith, this is something I would consider at a starting feat to go alongside those other expanded ones like Strixhaven and Machine and stuff. Again, definitely worse than those, but
Yeah.
closer to comparable, and I think will be fine enough. I think that's probably where it has its best home. 2 out of 5, not useless, but definitely at the low bar or low rung on the totem pole as far as like what are you actually taking with your feats.
Yeah, I agree 100%. This is like the definition of a 2 out of 5 that it does something. There's no denying that.
It's really what it does is not that useful
Yeah.
in
All
the
right.
context of the game.
That was skilled. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Let us know what you think down in the comments. Would you take this? Why? What skills? What tools are you getting this for? Let us know. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.